wow, it's an eldritch monster at my door. Perhaps I should exercise my Second Amendment? Just be ashamed to get fish blood on my new boho J.W. Anderson dress.
I agree. A lot of people like shooting me, but just to inform you, my blood normally doesn't splatter everywhere like you'd expect. Like, it's very, viscous and only dribbles out a bit. Much like all my fluids. I'm a pretty spongy bullet stop. But, I'd still prefer you not shoot me, sir or madame.
Annika. My name is Annika with an I. And you are?
Dagon the Mormon. I'm here to talk to you with this book. Here. And tell you that Mormonism is good.
Oh, gee, Dagon. Isn't Mormonism a cult?
Hold on. I have a note I'm supposed to read if I get this question. Oh, here it is. Mormonism isn't a cult.
Oh, wow. Dagon the Mormon. They should call you Dagon the Theologian? What, with your mastery over the art of sophistry?
I'm not sure if those are compliments, but those sound like words a Mormon would say. So thank you. I'm still learning. I'm not really an expert on anything.
Tell me, Dagon, what is your opinion of the Godhead?
I didn't know God had a head. Is God Joseph? Or like Moses? Moses Smith.
Are you a monotheist or a polytheist? This is a question a Mormon should expect.
Monotheist? I only soak my digits in one girl.
Gee, Dagon, you're pretty funny. How'd you end up in a silly place like Utah with a silly group like the Mormons?
Basically, it has a lot to do with free ginger ale.
Okay, I see. Well, Dagon, I'm curious about your origin, and my university requires me to write a paper on a natural phenomenon. I'd like to write it on you.
So, are you a Mormon?
I guess. Sure, Dagon, I'm a Mormon.
Oh, neat. I guess come to temple whenever you want to be a Mormon with us. Annika the Mormon?
Whatever. I need to get back to my meeting with the fellow members of the Science Club.
Oh, cool. Can I join you? I'd like to talk about Mormonism.
If you don't leave now, you'll be Dagon the Bullet Stop.
Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast, Quinn, with King Mob and Dead Palette starting internet drama for cloud points. Now listen, I didn't want to have to make this video, but I'm happy that I am, because I've had something that I need to say, so I'm going to say it. You've been missing the second button on your jacket for a week. But seriously, why must we label art without reason bad? Isn't that like slander or libel or something like that? Abysmii isn't here to correct me. Kick it to the cold open, white boys.
So are you aware that Chelsea and I went to art college?
You never mentioned as such, but I can kinda tell because you are both fantastic artists.
I'm not. Anyway, we had
shit, brother.
Bullshit. We had a freshman class called 3D design. And we had, various ones. We had drawing, we had 2D design, and we had 3D design, just basic stuff that they have at a lot of different art colleges. One of the first project we really had
you're telling me is that you and Chelsea went to school to learn the Dudley Death Drop.
Yes,
the most
precisely.
Devastating tag team finisher.
Yeah, nobody has ever kicked out of it except for when they have. And so what we did was we had a project called a beam, plane, and box project. Now, this is something that they do at a lot of different art schools, but the way that it works is you have to design a sort of small sculpture made out of a beam, a plane, and a box, all made out of wood. And then you have to paint it all white, and then you have to put it on a base. And there's not a whole lot that you can do with it, okay? It's basically just designed to like, hey, do you know how to use glue correctly without it looking really sloppy? Do you know how to paint things neatly without it looking sloppy? Do you know how to solder in? Supervision? Yeah. Do you know how to cut into a box and put a beam or a plane in there and have the cut look, nice and even? All right. It's basically like a tutorial thing. It really doesn't matter what order you put the things together in. You just got to try and think of something clever, which is kind of impossible to do because it's 3 very abstract objects, right? So that's where we're at. What happens is our teacher, who for the first week that we've known him has been incredibly nice, just a nice, fun-loving guy. He's like, yeah, and this is what this project is, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of like a bear. I want you to imagine like a gay bear in your head, okay?
I'll try.
You'll try. He's just this nice...
I don't know if I can do it.
He's this kind gentleman, and he was like, all right, everybody bring in your beam, plane, and box. And we all set them down on a table, and then underneath the like platform, it has the names of the projects on them. And so everybody sets them down. And he's like, all right, everybody, just go off for 15 minutes and then come back into the classroom, and you'll have your grade under your project next to your name. And then we'll just critique them and explain, blah, blah, blah. So we walk away. It's no big deal. We come back in, and he's just like pacing around the table with all of the projects on them. And then he picks up one of them and throws it against the wall.
Jesus Christ.
Saying, this is awful. And he like yells it. And like, we're all freaking out. And like, he breaks immediately and just starts laughing. Because what you would realize is that they do this project every year, and he just fishes them out of the dumpster. And while everyone was gone, he just picked up one of them that he had from the dumpster and just put it on there with the rest of ours to just freak us out.
That is gold.
Someone in our class did not find it funny. That person.
Oh, no.
That person was not me. That person was offended. And that person did not last long at in the tough, mean streets of art college. I'll tell you that.
Just couldn't master the glue stick.
No, the glue stick
kept getting away.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. Is on glue stick day, they really couldn't focus. They had other things going on. I don't know what their home life was like, but they, you know how it is. Sometimes you get distracted.
Yeah, I mean, we had fucking glue stick inspection day. It was called penis inspection day, but it's basically the same thing, I'm thinking.
Pretty much, if you're leaking and it's not cared for properly, then yeah, you get thrown against the wall.
Yeah,
but
it's just the way it happens.
When you actually go to art college and have discussions over your art with the class and everybody, one thing that you do is you try to, provide constructive feedback and, try and talk about like what's working and what's not. And I really have a dislike for when people say this is bad without explaining what is bad about something.
Yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine. I know other people look at creepypasta and say, creepypasta has always been bad, and then they don't explain what they mean by that, and then they lump everything in together.
Yeah, you can't just shit on something and expect it to get better.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating thing. And so you also just have to ask, what was a person trying to accomplish by making the piece of art that they make? We do that all the time. We always ask, like, okay, what was the person?
Who is this for?
Who's this for?
Yeah.
Who made it? Is it not good? Is it bad, quote unquote, because of us? Because it's not for us, or maybe it's not aligning with our goals. Maybe we're confused as to what it's trying to accomplish. These kinds of things. They're diagnostic things.
Yeah, you got to run through all this stuff because, again, it's not going to get any better if you just shit on it and stroll.
So today's episode of the Fear Fiction Podcast, we're going to be taking
shit on everything.
We're going to shit on everything. We're going to
everything.
We're not going to explain why things are bad. And we're going to be taking a look at bad two-sentence horror stories on Twitter.
Yeah, Elias has been busy all day filling up the official Fearfic hot air balloon, and we are ready to go. We got the Taco Bell. We got the assless chaps. We're just going to hang right out over the side. And as sovereign citizens, as God intended, the literary world will be our toilet.
Yeah, this is what I don't like about two-sentence horror stories. Is or the Twitter account rather, is that they just have decided that these stories are bad, and a lot of the times what they are is funny, and I just don't like this idea of putting bad on there. Like you know, you get a lot of Twitter accounts where it's like suspect post or criminal tweets or women posting their L's or men posting their L's and things like that.
Tweets by federal agents, one of my favorites.
That's also an excellent one of just like, hey, haha, how do you make an illegal unregistered firearm?
Yeah. Would you sell me some illegal guns, bro?
Would you sell me some illegal guns for me so I can have them?
Yeah,
fellow
fellow gun enthusiast, fellow projectile pal.
Fellow projectile pals.
That's what people down at the range, they call themselves that all the time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Bro pals, man.
This is the frustrating thing about those kind of accounts. I don't really have an issue with if the gimmick is like, hey, this is a thing that exists and we're pointing it out. I don't like doing that with an artist, you know, like these are people who put out this stuff for free and you're just shitting on it for no reason. We shit on stuff on this podcast and we're assholes for it, but we're not doing it maliciously. We're doing it in like a writing circle kind of way. We are giving feedback, you know, and we're making fun of ourselves as much as we're making fun of the stories.
Yeah, in case in point onto the subjectivity of it, and to say if it's good or bad, I think I've got one we can both agree on.
What's that?
Dave the Useless.
Dave the Useless is a
Love
genius.
Dave the Useless.
Dave the Useless is an insane person. Speaking of Twitter and Dave the Useless, he tweets insane things, and I don't understand them. But his stories are so excellent.
I need to actually follow his account.
He's a cool guy, and you know he's super nice. He's down to earth, and he writes these stories that give us so much joy. But they're not what most people would say are like good stories.
They are not great in the writing sense. They are hilarious. Don't get me wrong. They are perfection in and of themselves.
And we're not saying
literary metric.
We're not saying that like facetiously. Like he really does toe the line between like, is this a troll pasta?
Yeah.
Or is this like a serious bad story? He's so perfect at it.
If you're not familiar with him and you like to laugh, some people do, check his stuff out. But yeah,
he's also a tastemaker, because if he like reads a troll pasta, then it's automatically a good one.
Oh, absolutely.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to read the stories that are proposed to be bad two-sentence horror stories by the moderator of Bad Two-Sentence Horror Stories Twitter account. And we're just going to give our feedback, and instead of just putting these up there and saying that they're bad, we can pass judgment on them by offering feedback, you know?
Absolutely.
We'll start off with the most recent ones being posted. Two-sentence horror story by Boy Gaboy 458 456. Yeah.
Oh boy! All of those hamburgers.
That's a hard day of work, I uttered as I lay down. You're telling me, said the 7-foot gorilla standing next to at the foot of my bed. That's not a bad horror story. That's a joke.
I would be horrified if a talking 7-foot gorilla was standing at the foot of my bed.
This person is trolling. This person's doing a little bit of trolling.
And, I raise this question every so often.
What's that?
This implies the gorilla has a job. What is up with gorillas? What is up with simians in general? Why so little evolution?
You were really in the mood for calling out people like, hey, skeletons don't do enough work. Gorillas don't do enough work. I think you're just prejudiced.
You know what? I am a proud human supremacist. I'll admit it. I think people are pretty neat.
People are pretty neat.
Okay, this comes to us from the CEO of another industrious, hardworking simian. You'll love to see it. It's a success story. As I destroyed hundreds of buildings, a bitter price for salvation, I heard a voice behind me. All this just 'cause we're British? Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. That's not, that's not even a fictional horror story. That's just true.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. All this because we're British.
If you're British, fix your teeth and get the fuck out. Fucking Atlantic Islanders don't even want to see you around.
Probably why they can't say bottle of water correctly.
Bottle of water.
Then we have Ashlisa. Anyway, I was playing some Super Mario due to nostalgia, but I noticed Mario was staring at me with black eyes pouring blood while he killed Luigi.
Hold up. You hear that?
What's that?
I want you to listen. Doesn't that sound like Slimebeast?
It does sound like Slimebeast a little bit.
I can hear him yell. I can hear him. I can literally, like, the sound waves are building force. It's a concussive rush of, you stole that from me.
Okay, so here's the deal with this one. This one is bad.
Yeah, that's not.
And it's because it's cliche.
Yeah.
There's just not a whole lot going on there. This one's been played out by now. Like, this one, I think, is an attempt at trolling, but it's not a unique, novel concept. I like the anti-joke of, like, that was a hard day of work. You're telling me, says a 7-foot gorilla. Like, you weren't expecting the 7-foot gorilla. It's a non sequitur.
Yeah, no. Because in my head, all I imagine is Gorilla from Cromartie High.
Oh my God, Cromartie High is so good. Chelsea and I recently were watching it while super wasted, and boy, it's a treat. We watched the episode where they're humming, where they're trying to remember the name of the song over and over again. Oh my God!
Everybody at home, join in with us. Help us remember.
Let us know if you know what that tune is.
Yeah, what is this? What is this song?
I like that the show also just keeps saying, like, "Hey, do you want to know the full lore? Read the manga. We're not going to tell you."
Yeah, too bad. Fuck you.
Too bad. Fuck you.
Have you seen the live action?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. Yeah,
that's really good too. Anyways, continuing. No Fapper Deluxe. Whoa, This tomato sauce tastes really good. I said while eating her out.
That's non sequitur in a way that I'm kind of into it. I get the feeling a lot of these stories are going to be non sequitur troll jokes, you know?
And as for No Fapper Deluxe, you know what? Well played. And I agree with your message. In this day of energy uncertainty, don't fap. Harvest your vril. You'll never know when you need a vril hammer at the ready.
Okay, so this one is by Art U. Roush, and it says, God exists, but he's deaf mute.
Womp, womp. I got nothing.
This one is, I understand what they're trying to do is, like, God has left us. It's like a God is dead kind of thing, but it's pretentious, and there's not really any, like, sort of twist to it. There's no sort of, like, novel concept to it. It's
some poetry to it, a little something, you know?
If you threw those lines of God exists, but he's a deaf mute into a beat poem, like if Cocoa Butter Johnson did that, then I would be like, okay, that's fine in the context of a greater poem, but it in upon itself is not. It's also not as catchy as God is dead. That's a Nietzsche was, like, very poignant when he said that, you know.
Yes. Oh God, all I can think back is the Russian guy in the club looking all dour and depressed. I fear the judgment for the things I have done. And the woman comes up to him and says, haven't you heard? God is dead, and we killed him. And you just see the smile creep across his face as he starts dancing and breaking it down on the floor.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes.
God is dead. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, what a relief. Finally, all the sinning. All right. This comes from Alpha Manipulator. Unfortunately, sir, a tapeworm has managed to invade itself into your bladder.
I don't like where this one's going.
I don't like where it went on. No. I was terrified at first. Although, as my nurse pulled and pulled the 20-odd meter worm out through the end of my penis, I never felt anything so wonderful before.
Okay, no, shut up. That's a good horror story.
Oh God, what do they call that? The Arabian Candle.
Okay, so we have a 20-odd meter worm coming out of the end of your penis, and it feels good.
Long. Worm too long.
The worm is too long. Okay, I can't stress this enough. The worm is too long,
entirely too long, and I believe that the nurse represents anti-Semitism.
Could be. And okay, so this one is it's not so much a troll pasta as it is the fact that comedy and horror mirror each other.
Yeah.
And that's what these things are, is like a setup and a punchline, a setup and a punchline. And this one is a setup and a punchline, and it's funny, and it's also kind of horrifying. Like, yeah,
it's a quick little funny, gross, and you move on. It's fun.
It's, what's the scary stories to tell in the dark? It's kind of like if one of those was short and also for adults.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, scary stories to tell in the dark is also
you
for
can
adults.
Enjoy scary stories to tell in the dark at any age.
For sure. This one is from Tryhard Kenichi. I've always tried to go with my gut instinct, so when the pregnant woman in front of me ordered anchovies on her pizza, I decided to leave and get the General Tso's chicken. While reading the paper the following day, I was horrified when I saw a picture of the same woman under the headline, "Pregnant woman slaughters and dismembers pizza shop staff and customers because they put gefilte fish on her order."
It's a Jewish dish.
Gefilte fish on her order. This...
Oi, Gewalt, can you imagine such a thing? Never in my life.
That's what
Jaime, did you hear about the gefilte fish?
She's saying this during her trial.
Have you ever seen such a thing? Gefilte fish on a pizza.
Well, she doesn't want them to put that on there, so she's not Jewish. She's anti-Semitic. A lot of anti-Semitic stories come up here.
Seriously.
So this one, I like it. I don't see this one being bad. Okay, so some of these have been bad so far. This one, I just don't feel that way whatsoever. That's a fine story.
Yeah.
That's a horrific thing where I don't think people conceptualize what horror can be. Like, have you ever seen somebody like die on the side of the road and felt nothing? Like, you're not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to have some empathy, you know?
Yeah, I'm about to say yes and no. I got to witness a full vehicular defenestration once, and it was yeah.
Well, when that happens, here's the thing: is that's so depersonalized. Imagine that you're in a shop, you see a woman, and then the next day you find out that she's been that she's been arrested for murder. That's going to like be weird. If that's not weird to you, then something's wrong. Like, you were in a room with a known murderer that did something horrific.
If I tell this story, it's going to sound like bullshit.
Oh, no, we need to hear it.
All right. So this was back when I was working at the grocery store. I was out having a smoke break, right? On my 30-minute.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes up to me. And he just, he's got this real haunted look in his eyes. And he just says, "Hey, buddy, can I use your phone real quick? I got to call my wife." And I'm just like, I guess, okay, sure, because I am that kind of guy. And he just says, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. As soon as I hang up this call, I'm going to turn myself in."
Oh, my Lord.
And he says, yeah, thanks. I killed somebody, and I can't deal with it. And he hands me back the phone, and he just walks right up to the first fucking cop he sees in the parking lot.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like I have these stories, and they all sound like bullshit if I tell them at once, but I've been down a road, man.
Well, I think everybody has like one or two stories like that. It's just you don't really think about how weird they are. And I think part of the fun of being a writer is recognizing what unique experiences you have to like bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people second guess themselves and they're like, well, that's not too interesting. But they really do need to dive deep.
Or it's too unbelievable. How could I ever tell this right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always good to hear from other people. Like, it's good to tell those stories to other people and see if they find those kind of stories interesting. And it's like, oh no, okay, I'm not crazy. That was a crazy event that I just witnessed.
Yeah.
And did anything actually bad or horrific happen to you in that situation? All you did was hand over the guy the phone, and he wasted like a minute and a half of your, cellular plan that you had at the time. That's it.
Yeah. And it was just one of the most interesting, terrifying human experiences I have, been a witness to.
And again, not a hair on your head was hurt. Yeah. It was just a weird. It just put you in a weird position, and sometimes that's where you're at. You're just in a weird position.
Anyways, we got off on a bit of a tangent there.
Well, isn't that kind of the point? Is like these stories I just don't like. I don't dislike the idea of putting these stories out there and saying like, hey, these are weird 2-sentence horror stories or suspect 2-sentence horror stories. But to say they're bad when they're taking us down these tangents, I just don't think is fair.
Down that little rabbit hole there, man. And through some bizarre fucking coincidence, Tryhard Kenichi ever hears this, your weird little 2-second horror story took us to a very interesting place.
And so, I should say
I can't call this bad by any conceivable metric.
It wasn't a perfect one because I think that those were like 2 run-on sentences.
Yeah.
But I think if they punch that up, it's still a really good idea,
Mm-hmm.
But what did Christopher Rufo get into?
Yeah, I don't even know if this is a horror story or just some weird fucking political shitpost they put up for no reason.
Yeah, let's read it regardless, I guess. Yeah. Christopher Rufo helped make critical race theory a conservative rallying cry.
I just don't like pirates.
An unusual case of recurring super diarrhea put a sudden stop to his activism. A recurring case of super diarrhea put a sudden stop to his activism. That's like a shit post. Like they're making fun of something there.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't even sure that one was an actual fucking horror story. I just think it was a fucking shitpost.
I guess it was a shitpost because it said super diarrhea. Yeah. My husband and I decided we don't want to have children. We will be telling them tonight. That's a good one.
That's good.
That's good.
Yes. That's just plain good.
That's not weird. That's not suspect. That's not a bad one of any that's just plain good. My husband and I have decided we don't want children. We will be telling them tonight. It's like funny, but not too funny. It's mostly just like sociopathic. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. And what do you expect? Keen wit. This person is a doctor. This came from Dr. Amanda Quent. Or is that Drama Queen Delinquent?
I think it's Drama Queen Delinquent, bud.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
It's Queen Amidala. Queen Amidala wrote this horror story.
Yeah. All right. Figures this one would be me. Opinion. I was a lifelong liberal Democrat. Then one of my co-workers told me his pronouns.
I am about fucking tired of all of these goddamn jokes about dumb boomers not knowing what pronouns are. I get it. You found a low-hanging fruit on the internet that doesn't know what a pronoun is and thinks that it's a, social justice gender thing, and you own them. Congratulations, you owned a boomer in Middle America.
Yep. Low hanging fruit, man. This is pomme de terre right here.
Yeah, pomme de terre is perfectly correct.
Yeah.
I get it. I get that they don't know what they're talking about. There's plenty of that.
Potato is the end of the world.
There's plenty of not knowing what you're talking about to go around.
We do it every day.
We do it every day. Chicago was voted the second best city in the world. How accurate is the ranking? That one's again a shit post. They're not being serious.
This
is it like most deadly city in the world? Is that what they're going for? Is best city judged by the number of corpses?
Best city to be clapped at random in the world.
Absolutely. Run up, get clapped on.
Caught lack, get clapped.
And Chicka Chai City.
Chirac, baby.
I've not heard that one. Chirac. That's a good one.
Really? It's really common, actually.
I'm sure it is there. I've been to Chicago. It was fine. I didn't get shot. But I was also at a golf course.
Lucky ones.
A golf course is the least likely place to get shot at the most likely place to get shot in the world. You know what I mean?
I've seen a few caddies that would beg to differ.
This one is by Malsey Ball. I'm throwing a surprise party for my best friend. I hope the clown costume I picked out gives a good first impression. That one's not.
I see what they did there. It's subtle. It's not great. But again, this requires a second of thought. Literally
yeah, I think that this one is like ambiguous. Their
best friend first juxtaposed against first impression.
Yeah, it's really smart. But like I don't know that the clown aspect of it is working for me. But again, it's just it's weird to throw that out there as bad. It's
2-sentence horror. It's a different bar.
The fact that can have like fridge horror in it while being a 2-sentence horror story in upon itself,
like Kyle Rayner's girlfriend, someone will get it.
It just doesn't seem fair to me that this account has taken off in this way. Again, I would have less of an issue with it if it just wasn't labeled bad. I don't like that.
At least you know what? In the comments, bad 2-sentence horror did say this one's actually kind of clever.
Yeah, but they don't do that for most of them.
Yeah.
We got Daniel Plays Games who says, my friend once asked me what I kept in my spare room. Now he knows a bit too much about my hobby.
Warhammer 40K.
Yeah,
I was waiting for him to ask. I had the lore books and everything.
To the people who decide to post negative feedback on this post, I get that you don't like it, but if you don't have something kind or constructive to say, then don't say it at all.
Now that's where the story veers for me.
I'm trying to figure out what this is, what's going on here. I just don't understand that one, because they say like the hobby and then they have this other run-on sentence that doesn't seem related. That seems to be the big issue.
Yeah,
is run-on sentences.
This is 2-sentence horror story. To the people who decide to post negative feedback on the post, if you don't like it, but that's the second sentence.
Yeah, that one's weird. I don't know what to make of that one.
Unless he tried to streamline the game down to 1-sentence horror and drop the ball.
It's also weird that like 5,000 people like this post to me, because it's just like, so this person like wrote a very confused 2-sentence horror story, and this is like 5,000's endorsement that this story is bad. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know what to make of that.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on here. Okay. This one comes from Extension Earth. Expand Earth. Thank you. I was drowning, she said, as I pulled her on board. I hope it'll hold this time, I said, as I reattached the weights and pushed her back into the water.
Yeah, that one's not great, because it's I
have information that will solve the murder of Natalie Wood.
I'm wondering, hear me out on this one. Is it implying that there's something about this person that is unconditionally loving the person that's trying to drown them?
Yes.
Like again, if you just dismiss these, like I get that they're short and very easy to read through, but like if you analyze them just a little bit, it's like there is a story here that these people are discounting, and I don't like that. Like,
all right, hear me out. She got thrown off a different boat. Somebody came along to rescue her, but the second she opened her mouth, they just chucked her right back in.
Yeah, maybe she's just got that annoying voice, or there's
really
endless...
annoying laugh. Like if you heard it, you'd understand.
Yeah. So you're saying that you not only didn't warn this person that you had a gun, you pulled it and fired into them. Listen, to be fair, she's dead, so you can't hear her voice, but it was
grating.
It was a grave bodily injury, I'll tell you that. Reddit Master of Gold, all that I see imprisoning me, says, insert coin to continue.
No moderators.
As I checked all around my house for any coins and came up empty, I gave myself to the robot overlords. That's perfectly fine. That's good.
That's gold.
I'm offended.
Yeah, that has no place here. Reddit Master of Gold, no moderators, does not deserve this fate.
That is such bullshit. This is an injustice. It's not fair. Here's the interesting thing too. This one on the actual 2-sentence horror subreddit got 452 upvotes. That's correct. I like that they got all that positive attention. And then we get all of this negative attention here of 1,400 likes on the post by bad 2-sentence horror story.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't get it.
I'm just going to take a glance at some of the comments here.
Yeah, you do that.
We appreciate the sacrifice. Get the fuck out of here. To be honest, this would be a good plot point for some horror game with commentary on capitalism. And it's a horror that I had to realize that this is the future of a libertarian police department. Vending machines become the dominant race. Doofenshmirtz.
It's funny. It's a twist, and it's mostly horror. Like I just don't understand how people can shit on that. That's not fair.
And the comments are just like bibble babble, man. It's like baby talk. Don't make no sense. It's like they didn't read the same story.
Well, let's look at this one. It says previously he said, Barney taught us, I love you, you love me. Won't you say you love me too? That's one of the first songs I remember. What happens when that isn't true? Like the idea of Barney like getting mad at you for not saying that you love him is fine. It's a joke.
Barney starts pulling off his belt.
Say you
wrapping it around his felt-covered fist, knuckles to the fucking buckle, and he just stands over you. You say you love me too. Yeah.
What did Cindy Bubbles write?
Cindy Bubbles wrote, please don't take me back to my timeline. I cried out to the time travel patrol officers. They responded, we're sorry, but if you do not die on August 13th, 2020 at exactly 11:15 and 13 seconds a.m. Eastern, whatever the D is, Eastern D time, from 3rd and 4th degree burns due to multiple car pileup on the I-95, our prosperous timeline will cease to exist.
This is a perfectly fine horror story. You're being forced back into your own timeline by the time travel patrol officer to prevent the butterfly effect.
Two-sentence fate versus free will, man.
It's, this already has the idea of the rights of the few versus the needs of the many. Yeah. Like, how is that bad? This becomes to me like an affirmative like a defense. Like they have to go out there and explain to me how this is bad. You know what I mean? Like this is something where I'm just going to assume it's good until somebody can explain why it's bad.
The track record for bad on this is way off.
I'm venturing to, like, me personally, and the explanations that I have given, and I think that you would agree for the most part, maybe 1/4 of these have been quote unquote bad.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Even. I would say most of them are mediocre to good. That's the bar right fucking there, right?
And I would
it's
say
either going to be just or holy crap, this is actually really good. And like only a couple have been real bad so far.
And I would say like 30% of them have been like hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's perfect.
Anyways, let's see if the trend continues. What's Knowledge Hunter up to?
Does this person have knowledge on a certain hunter? His dad went out to get some milk after all. He knew that a growing kid needs it. Hearing the door open, he happily welcomed his father. But then, ha ha ha, it's hilarious every time I witness your face fall off, Dad.
Is this what was going on in the cabin in fucking Huntsville camping trip?
Yeah, exactly.
Went down, waded through a waist-deep pile of baby dolls to get down to the old grocery store to get you some milk, boy. And oh, God, my convex face is pressed flat to the glass. What the fuck was this?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on with that one.
There was nothing. This was...
I do wonder, because it does have the theme of, like, family and dad and face falling off. Maybe it is, like, Huntsville camping trip inspired. And Huntsville camping trip is again a bad story, and we have detailed why many times. So, you know.
Oh my God! What if this is the fucking sequel to Face Off? Right? John Travolta gets his family back. They put his face back on, but it's all fucked up and wrong, and it just keeps sliding off. Face Off 2, Face On.
Bookseer. My fellow senators thought I was crazy for passing a new dental care for all bill.
Books before.
Now, I ain't no big city dental care bill passer. Passing a new dental care bill for all, but I see it as a win-win. I get brownie points for helping the poor and better quality dentures for me. I don't understand this one.
The senators are harvesting their teeth to build human dentures.
I was passing a new dental care for all bill, but I see it as a win.
Look at those teeth. Man, don't be a dental player. It's 2022.
Dental plan. I'm just going to say that I'm confused by this one. And let's read some comments. This is so fucking bad. Oh my God. Like, what's even scary at all?
How did a lone senator pass a bill?
I'm confused by there's that one.
Picture of the Joker.
Are they implying that the dentures are made of poor people's teeth? I think that they're supposed to be like implying something like that, like the teeth are actually being taken or something, but it's like ambiguous.
Well, like back in the old West, like they'd pop the teeth out of bounty kills to make dentures, man. Like I don't know if that's true,
but it feels true.
I heard it somewhere, probably from me just now, but it feels true.
Well, there are certain things like, have you heard of the trophic pyramid?
Not familiar. Hit me.
So it's the concept that like there's the circle of life and there are things at the top of the food chain and things at the bottom of the food chain. And like at the bottom, you have like grass and stuff like that gets eaten by cows. And then we eat the cows and then the space aliens eat us, right?
Cows and the vegans.
And so the reason that we have those things set up that way is because all of the things below it can support it. So it's like a pyramid, and the higher up the pyramid goes, things down at the bottom, need to be able to support the things at the top, right? This is just a principle of food making and of nature out there. And my friend Prasicor was like, well, you do realize that the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist because of the trophic pyramid. And I had to explain to him that, no, the trophic pyramid is bullshit because the Loch Ness Monster
exists. Magic exists.
Yeah, there you go.
Whimsy and fantasy, these are real things that you can apply the scientific method to. And it just proves that miracles and dinosaurs are real.
Are miracles not real? Then why is there a miracle on ice?
Yeah. Why was there that miracle on 34th Street, man?
Makes you think. What's the next story?
That's a good question. All right. This is by Wow Didco.
Wow
we do. Right. It's a wild Wow Didco. I don't fucking know. Anyways, my wife told me she wanted to see Stonehenge this summer. I can't finish this. It's too scary. Jesus fuck.
This one's
Dude,
great.
I thought we were here to fucking laugh.
Oh my god.
No.
No, you have to stick it out. What does it say?
To this Christian program and expose me to this filth.
You gotta tell me what it actually says, man. Listen, I know
I don't know if I can.
you committed to this. You are legally obligated.
It's all right.
You know I know a
I'm a proud
lawyer.
American. I'm strong. I'm a mighty man. My heart pumped blood. It worked good. I'm a human. This is what we look like. I realized United Kingdom.
Yeah. We realized we would have to go to the United Kingdom. That's what it is.
I went to a village where they had 3 teeth they shared between all 12 of them. Passed them around. Big dinner table.
See, that's a perfect joke. But that one is also pulled from good Reddit, great Reddit sometimes. So that's a a Twitter account that just takes content from other from Redditors and uploads it for credit, I guess. But at least this person is like good to great, and bad 2-sentence horror stories retweeting it to say no, it's bad. So we have a bit
I want to do
this
one. I want to do this one.
Do it.
It's not a fucking not a 2-sentence horror. This comes from a parent's guide, and we're gonna play Guess the Movie in the comments below. Sex and nudity. A man is shown with his shirt off. The man is quite muscular. Another character stutters and asks him to put on a shirt.
Put your shirt back on, Baka.
She is slightly impressed by him. The scene is about 30 to 60 seconds long. 2 characters kiss. Luke milks a creature and drinks the juice.
Oh my god. It's fucking Swole Swololin. Kylo Swole.
No, it's Khan from Star Wars: The Undiscovered Country.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Someone's gonna crucify me for
that. This one is by Crookus the Fuckus.
Crookus the Fuckus.
My fishing trip in the Amazon was going good. Then suddenly, oxoqualagial qualbenzinus. I don't understand what that means.
Don't look at me. It's all South American. No, that's Latin. Is that Latin?
There's a person who keeps putting the first comment that says "come," and they keep getting upvoted. So I think that this account is for dumb people.
That tells the story.
Okay, so it's a dinosaur. A dinosaur showed up.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of that one. The specificity really doesn't make it better.
I'm sorry. I'm not Googling anything in a 2-sentence horror story. That's just the way it is. I'm sure Prassacor, since you mentioned him earlier, he fucking loved it.
I'm sure he knew what that was.
He clapped. He clapped when he knew.
I clapped when I knew. Monster Slayer. I really enjoy the use of red in your painting. The teacher marveled at the latest creation. Only when he saw his hospitalized daughter did he know where the paint had come from. Perfectly fine.
All right.
That one's all right. It's not great. It's all right though. That one I feel is less good as a 2-sentence horror story, and if they fleshed it out and made it an actual bigger story, it would be better. But
yeah.
it's a neat concept. It's fine.
It hits me a little bit. I don't remember. It was some anthology show I was watching, Tales from the Dark Side or Monsters. It was about this dude, this artist. He had a really sick wife, and his
he had a really sick wife, dude.
Yeah, bro. She was smoking,
stoked.
Yeah, dangerously stoked, bro. Anyways, he comes across a murder scene, and he decides to paint it because nobody's buying his other shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this sells like crazy. This sells big. Everybody wants it. So he starts running out of accidents to come across, and he starts killing people. And he finally worked up enough money to get the treatment, to pay for the treatment his wife needed. But the last person that he killed was the only doctor that knew how to perform the operation.
Womp womp. That's not a bad idea.
A gift of the Magi situation.
Yeah, gift of the Magi. Hey, it's me, Uncle Fingers. I have all my fingers, or enough of them.
Uncle Fingers, Finger Puppet Emporium. Finger Puppet Emporium.
Finger Puppet Emporium.
Meeting in progress. This is meeting with an A, mind you. It's setting up for a clever punchline. Meeting in progress, the sign read. I assumed it was a typo and was going to go on with my day. That is, until I saw the meat man.
Perfectly fine.
I liked it.
That's fine. That's fine. No issue there.
Now, although the meat man conjures up images of Johnny fucking Hungy from AEW, the little meat man, horrifying little goblin he is.
Desi Chora 69. They told me Jason's mother was a scare day sensitive nerd in school, but I wouldn't believe it until she told me, stop hitting my child in the head with a lead pipe. I don't understand that one. That one's okay. I don't know what to make of that one.
You know, CTE is a hilarious thing.
I would agree.
And, you know, anytime you see somebody suffering with a massive head wound and they complain, you know they're overreacting.
Just keep going to the top rope and diving off, you stupid idiot. I don't know about you, but I think I've had enough two-sentence horror story accounts.
Something that is unspeakable. My wife and child will not be in attendance at the event tonight. I leave you with a gift of my anger. Sleep well. Name whose famous last promo that was.
Oh, my Lord.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts were King Mob and Dead Palette. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. And edited by Elias the Intern, Quinn. Subscribe to Fearfic for more proper critique of scary stories, like button, and all that.
Are you tired of humanity? Because I sure as fuck am. I'm leaving. I'm going to the Corvid Corner. Crow communication is poorly understood. However,
by humans. Like, I don't understand.
Like by humans, yeah.
I don't fucking get it. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
However, it is believed that the intensity, rhythm, and duration of caws seem to form a language humans are just not privy to.
What the fuck is this? Is this Corvid fact of just like, humans don't understand crows? What?
I mean,
well, yeah.
No shit.
Man, Chelsea, for this one, you were supposed to come up with a fake fact. And now, this is awkward. We both have the real facts.
Oh, okay? No.
It's awkward.
Oh, no. People are just going to have to guess.
Siberian rooks stayed quiet about Mao's Great Leap Forward. They didn't say anything about it.
Oh,
they must have been okay with it.
They must have been okay with it.
They just saw all those sparrows getting shot out of the sky, and they just looked the other way.
You know?
Like us right now. We're just looking the other way. Like, whatever, fuck it.
I mean, they're Siberian crows?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're sending their own to the gulag.
Okay, Chelsea, let's hear your Siberian rook gulag jokes. Oh, no. Let's hear your Siberian rook. Okay, let's hear your caw with a Russian accent.
I am too fucked up right now to do that.
Oh boy.
Comrade.
Oh fuck.
Oh. All right, guys. If you think Brandon just told the truth, put caw. And if you think I just told the truth, put caw.
The intensity, rhythm, and duration of your caw will get across to us.
Yes.
Well, ironically, if we understand what their answer is, then it will automatically prove you wrong.
Right.
There you go.
But they're not, well, I don't know. Anybody could be a crow on the internet.
Anybody? Okay. You're just like going through Twitter. It's just like there's fucking comments left by a fucking crow.
Oh my god. The Corvid Corner.